an accelerator program for the global Islamic digital economy. The word multaqa in Arabic means meeting point, and the word hikmah means wisdom. So it's going to be the meeting point of wisdom, innovation, knowledge, really awesome people. The concept behind this came from a very famous center of learning and translation center in Baghdad in the 13th century called Baytul Hikmah. And many of you guys might have heard of this. It's called the House of Wisdom, where a lot of really great innovators used to gather in the day, and a lot of really great stuff. So when you think of like algebra, or when you think about the first theoretical works that came out about optics and chemistry, it came from this one meeting point. And what you'll realize is that in any great period of history, all the most amazing people tend to be in one place, and they all tend to be working together and producing. It comes from one place. So another example is the Renaissance. You had people like Galileo, you had people like Michelangelo, you had people like Leonardo da Vinci. They were all living in Florence, and they were all working together in some capacity, not too far from each other. So we are basically making Malaysia, what we hope to do is make Malaysia the hub of the Islamic economy and have all of the most amazing people, inshallah, come over here. So the problem that we're trying to solve is quite a few things. First of all, we've identified that there is a lack of an end-to-end ecosystem. If you are a Muslim entrepreneur, or you have a company, maybe you're not Muslim, but you have a company in the Islamic economy space, there's no unified mentorship network. There's a lot of really great minds, but they don't come together. They don't help facilitate that knowledge. There's not really a robust investors network, even angel investors. So if you have a company, where do you go to find funding? You don't know where to go. And there's a reason, because there is no network. There hasn't really been a robust network built. And there's no central meeting hub. So like we said, Malaysia, we're hoping to establish it as a central meeting hub for the global Islamic economy, especially Islamic hot startups. So people know that this is the place where it's popping, where everyone comes and hangs out and talks to each other and connects. And the last thing is there's a lack of programming. So we've identified that there's really no immersive, intensive accelerator programs, incubator programs to help entrepreneurs launch from ideation to launch, or even to grow their business if they're past the ideation stage. So many presenters today talked about the size of the Islamic economy. What we can also say is that the digital Islamic economy is growing faster than the world digital economy. And if we look at what are the kind of the trends, where people can make money in the future, what are the kind of companies they can start in the Islamic economy, this is useful for entrepreneurs. It's also very useful for investors who might be in the room. So there are the 5 most promising digital Islamic economy sectors. There's the sharing economy, so think of like Airbnb. The social commerce, so this is connecting Muslims together, or people who are the Muslim consumer base. There is retail e-commerce, so this is people selling products online for Muslim consumers. There's food transportation logistics, and Islamic finance investment products. So if we look at an overview of the Islamic economy startup ecosystem, there's about 400 Islamic economy focused startups that have emerged since 2013. Many of them are still popping up, and there is an ecosystem of about 3,000 or 2,500 companies. And this is taken from Rafiuddin Dinar Standards Research, a research agency based in Dubai. So the solution that we're trying to build is the first of its kind innovation hub, seed accelerator program. We want to focus on 4 main key areas. The first is a mentorship network. How do we bring all of the great influencers, the people with the experience, the entrepreneurs, the key decision makers to one place? The second thing is, how do we offer immersive training? So if you do have a company, how do you go from ideation to launch? What do you need to know? And how can we make it specific to the needs of people who are running companies in this area? The third thing is an angel investment network. So what we want to do is start creating the first seed investors, bringing them together, networking them directly with the entrepreneurs that are looking for these types of funding. And then the last thing is at some point to create an actual physical space that we can call our own, inshallah. Okay, I will skip this for the sake of time. Okay, so the way the program works is actually we're going to be launching our first cohort. If you're interested, we're taking an intake of about 30 companies this year, inshallah. There are going to be an 8-week program in October and November 2017. And like I said, it's going to be the first cohort. We hope to graduate the first set of companies and really be invested into their growth. So the problems that we're trying to solve, again, that we've identified even more on a deeper scale, the reason why Multaqa Hikmah, inshallah, is going to exist is we need an extensive data and research on Islamic economy startups. We need to know what problems people have, what issues they're facing, and we can only do this when we gather them together. We also want to provide case studies for breakthrough growth, figure out what makes certain companies successful, what makes certain companies not successful. We want to build robust technology solutions and also hack product development methodology to help Islamic economy startups better reach their audiences. Yeah, so I'm going to just skip to the end because I'm running out of time. But if anyone here is an entrepreneur, you are interested in this program, you're interested in either signing up for the program, maybe you're invested in investing into the program, please contact me, contact the El Mango's team, or GIEC in general if you're interested in getting involved. So this is going to be our announcement today. Inshallah, at some point we will have an official launch, which you guys are all invited to.
Guys, 1 second. I don't feel the excitement here, honestly. This is great news, yeah? This is big news, guys. Really. Inshallah, it's happening. It's happening. So thank you for that.
Okay. You're welcome. No, I totally understand because you guys have been through a lot of really deep sessions. But yeah, we consider you guys, we don't consider people who come to GIEC as just participants. We consider you guys as family and as a part of a global community. What we do after our events is we take everybody, we put them into the GIEC Global Community Facebook group, and we just become friends. We connect with each other. Many people who've come here have become co-founders. Many people who've come here have worked together in some capacity, supported each other, invested in each other. The invitation is out, not just as participants, but also as people who can become stakeholders in this idea. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Huda. How many females in the room? Okay. I must say, guys, before I introduce you to the next panel, I must say that female, honestly, without having female in your company, I don't think you'll be as successful as, female, especially when they're in business, they're very dedicated people, and they are somehow driven by also emotions more than males, and they tend to really make your company more successful than male. So I hope all the females are happy here. So I'd like to introduce you to our next panel, which is only a Muslim female panel. And it's moderated by Fiona Kirubi. And we have four amazing speakers. We have Sahar Sheikh, we have Farah Othman, we have Harasha Bafana, and we have Fain Jamal. Please welcome them to the stage. Female panel discussion.
Capital of the Islamic world in 2017. our and thank our esteemed panel of powerhouses today who are doing just incredible work. And I'm just as eager as all of you to learn from these wonderful women. But before I ask them to give us a brief introduction, can I get all the women in the room to please stand up? Every woman, panel included. Wonderful. I want all of you to look at each other. Remember these faces. Because in this room are the next women leaders. You may sit down. Okay, I'll start with Harasha. If you could just give us a brief introduction about yourself and your company, and then we'll just pass it down.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm so happy to be here. I just want to thank the organizers and all the team supporters for putting this together. This is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. It gives me great hope for the Muslims all over the world if we come together regularly like this. My name is Harasha Bafana. I'm from Singapore. I run the Adam and Hawa network. And interestingly, as our host was saying earlier, I call it the Adam and Hawa network because it is a business mentoring network that helps small business owners get the right knowledge and tools and work with the right partners so that they can grow their business without making expensive mistakes. But I always forget to explain this part, why I call it the Adam and Hawa network. It's because most successful companies that are small businesses that end up becoming, change makers in the world, they have a unique combination of both male and female. I speak from my own personal experience. My brother and I set up a restaurant business, which was not really a restaurant business. It was a business meant to change people's perspective. Accidental entrepreneur. Through that restaurant business, my brother and I set up, we grew it into $1 million business with $0 advertising. So I humbly disagree that you need a lot of money to start a business. However, you need a fantastic idea that can change the world, that comes from your heart. That introduction to business would not have been possible if my brother was not there, because he's a big thinker and I'm the big doer. And that was how I was introduced to the world of business. But I won't talk too much at this point. I'll pass along the mic.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is FARAH OTHMAN and I'm the founder of Into TAQWA. I must say that I've been in the corporate world for many, many years, but I'm a medical supplier. It's called Into Equity. Everything started by Into. So being a medical supplier, there's a moment in 2012 after my first Umrah. I think my company, I think I supply a very good, I'm a good medical supplier, but to give a best service for people in the hospital at the same time, I feel dead inside. It's because, nowadays so many things going on and everything that all we know that just making profit, and we only know to think about break-even profit and loss. Alhamdulillah, being a Muslim, I believe there's a purpose for us to do things. So when I started Into TAQWA in 2012, for whatever my experience in the corporate world, I think that, my passion still through media, because I also have a background in media. That's the moment that I said that, I would love to do something that will actually close in my heart. That's why that I've started my collaboration with TV Al Hijrah. It's called Into TAQWA. And at the same time that I'm focusing on Palestine and Al-Aqsa. So for whatever my experience in medical equipment, I believe this is another way for me to channel my expertise and contacts to helping Palestine through my medical expertise, inshallah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Finn, if you could just share a brief about your background.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's really hard to explain who I am because I'm the jack of all trades, master to none. Basically, if you throw me anywhere, I can just basically do whatever I want to do. I'm a rebel, of course. I lived a sinful life. I'm trying to be a better person. And on my way to get better, I want to bring a lot of people together with me because I believe paradise is so big and I do not want to be all alone over there if Allah give me His rida. So everything I do right now, inshallah, is for the sake of Allah. So whatever experience that I have, me being the Jack just now, inshallah, I know I can be the voice for a lot of teenagers out there, even though I'm no longer a teenager. But whatever it is, I believe, allow me to just give the simple line. When I decided to don my niqab, and then they say, you know, you've done this niqab, so go back, you know, go to the back because, you know, that is where you should belong, you know, for a Muslimah. You know, a proper Muslimah should be hidden at the back. I would always tell people who actually pioneered the first university in the world and still running up until now, a Muslimah. And who is the mother of knowledge, Aisha, who is the leading women in business, Khadija. So I believe Islam is here to empower women, and women should be out there, but restricted. You know, we have our, so, okay, bye.
I think we get the drift. Women power. Sahar?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm just a normal woman. I'm co-founder of Mindful Soul Academy, a new entrepreneur who has achieved something because I was a failing entrepreneur for a good 10 years. My marriage was on rocks when I realized that I was a living zombie. And that's when I decided that broken people can be healed and broken women can be healed. And we carry so much pain and anger and frustration and depression, and we walk with it, impacting the generations to come. So I took this responsibility over myself that if you have pain, it can be released and it can define you to be a different person, to be an authentic person of who you can be the best in front of your Creator. I'm just trying to serve my Creator's creation. That's it.
Excellent. I think they all deserve a round of applause. All right, I'll start with Harash again. And again, the questions that I will ask, I'll allow for the entire panel to answer. First is, what would you say your business stands for and what does it bring to the world? You leave women alone and technology goes pear-shaped. Hello? Okay, we need a man.
Testing. Sorry about that. So the question is again, recap for me, please.
So what would you say your business stands for and what does it bring to the world?
Okay. It goes back to why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. Many people go into business and then they make expensive mistakes. And they lose unnecessary tens of thousands of dollars because they think they don't know enough. So they outsource the problem to a so-called consultant who has, of course, promised them the moon, the earth, the sky, and everything in between. Now, it hurts me when people lose money unnecessarily. It also hurts me when people jump into business thinking money will solve the problem. So how many of you have heard of people opening a restaurant because it's been a lifelong, dream or something like that? And they end up wasting too much money. And I tell you the reason why they do that, or rather the reason why they lose a lot of money is because they lack two things. One, they lack certain knowledge that could have helped them avoid that unnecessary pain. And secondly, they end up working with the wrong partners. For example, I go back to the restaurant example, and it could be the digital economy example. It doesn't matter. Business is more or less all the same, right? If you work with a partner that lacks honesty, you're in trouble. So these are the kind of things that really are very avoidable, and I've made it my cause right now to provide the right knowledge and the right partners for small business owners, because I focus on small business owners, even though it may not make me a lot of money, because that's not why I'm doing this. I focus on small business owners because most of them are family businesses. These are people who work very hard and they have a dream, and their dream is sometimes merely financial survival. However, the big companies that have changed the world began as a small company, and I like helping small people because I'm a small person myself. I come from very humble backgrounds. We learn the hard way. And if we have something that can help somebody avoid the mistake, hey, it's our duty to share.
That's incredible. If I could then move on to Farah. What would you say your business stands for, and what does it bring to the world?
I believe that my businesses that I'm doing now, I just it's like more reconnect with people, with soul, because there's a medical supplier, and inshallah within 2 months from now, I will launch a nursing center. It's called TAQWA. So I have my TV show, and TAQWA basically, I remembered that, you know, when I was in Palestine, I could, it's just like something reminds me that, okay, you are doing this thing. What actually, apart from contribution for us to Palestine, and where about, even in my country, I even need to help my own country. How many people in Malaysia that if there's anything happens to your family is sick, that you're not even able to seek, you know, personal nursing, like nurses to help you at home. So I hope that I'm able to, you know, contribute a bit to community. At least monthly, we're going to choose two till 6 family that we're going to help them to give our nursing services at home. So, you know, in the end, businesses, especially being Muslim, I think the most important thing, being an entrepreneur, I believe that it's about adab and manners. And unfortunately, nowadays, in this dunya, people just want to make money without lack of adab. So it doesn't matter how much you make, what profit that you can gain end of this year, when the time you're closing your account, it's pointless to do a business without manners and adab. I think this is very, very important, inshallah.
Farah, thank you so much for that. I mean, so far, both you and Harash are doing such noble causes. Well done. In fact, we can hear from Ben.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My business, Fin Jamal nervous. My business, Fin Jamal RTW, is actually, I do not want to say it's a fashion line. It's more of proper Muslimah wearing. I think it started with like this. That transition from the celebrity Fin Jamal to this proper Muslimah. I told my husband that I want to wear proper dressing for Muslimah, and then he said, okay, if only it befits the definition and the description in the Quran and all. So I've been looking for those dress code lah, and then going through the hashtag Muslimah fashion or you know, modesty fashion. I have to swear, in Malaysia, it is so sad because Muslimah fashion and halal industry is 2 different things. So I told my husband, how is it possible? Because we are living in Malaysia. This is an Islamic country. Muslimah fashion is not a fashion. It is not even Sharia. So we started Fin Jamal RTW thinking that this would be a really small company, just for niche market, those who really want to look for Sharia compliant dress codes, you know, just for people like me. And then Alhamdulillah, what I thought would start, you know, would just be a small company is now evolving and going all over already. Alhamdulillah, turned out there's a lot of people like me who want simple, modest clothing. So Alhamdulillah. So after that, we opened up a new company, and that is selling goat's milk. Because my son is autistic, so goat's milk is the closest to breast milk, so Alhamdulillah. So I think how I would define my company is as easy as, if it is in the rida of Allah, then I'm happy enough. I know we're not the biggest company. I know we do not have fashion shows like whatnot. I know my models are not wearing makeup because I understand tabarruj is wrong. I know, because you know, it's really hard to maintain that. You know, you understand the definition of concepts in the Quran, and then you want to apply it in real life. So, for example, I am a sports person. I love playing badminton. So I cannot find Muslimah compliant sports attire other than, you know, what we see every day. So I started, you know, like wearing niqab and, you know, like proper Sharia, even though it, you know, a lot of people joke about it, but I find and turn out, alhamdulillah, a lot of women out there wants to wear what I'm wearing. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ben. I'm sure we can all feel her passion. Sahar?
Okay, so my company stands for Disrupting Thought Patterns, and we believe in that healing is a process that is ongoing for life. And we break barriers and we step out of the box that defines us as a woman in the society, and it makes us more incapable. And what we do is we understand our emotions better so that we're not called as emotional beings who act emotionally, who do not know how they should act and behave. Rather, we just change the entire notion of how anger and frustration and sadness.
Sahar,
and
sorry if I
fear
could
should
just
be taken.
stop you right there.
Yeah.
Guys, we can hear you at the back. If you don't mind, please respect the panel. Thank you. Sorry, Sarah, go on.
Yeah, so we understand emotions at a better level, at the basics level, why these emotions were created and how to break the negative pattern through them so that we actually become well conscious beings, and we practice mindfully every moment of life so that we live in this moment, not thinking what my future carries and not regretting my past.
Excellent, thank you. If you could just keep the mic. The second question ties in very well with your business, and I know we've spoken before this. Tell me, how do you deal with critics, especially based on, you know, the type of subject matter that you attack? And also, how do you deal with your low moments?
So critics, I believe that if someone is stepping up and letting me know what is wrong within me, it's just their perspective. That does not define me. It's their part of their journey. It's how they see the world, and they have all the right to see the world in that manner. It has nothing to do with me, so I do not absorb it. And I think none of us should absorb it. If we are living on purpose, none of us should let other people define of who we are. I have my own pattern, I have my own purpose, and I'm driven towards it. I can take your critique if it's positive, if I feel it's positive, because I know what my end goal is, and the other person cannot see where you're heading. So their vision is so limited that I cannot step up and blame. And what was your second question?
And how do you deal with your low moments?
So low moments are the most amazing moments because that's when the thought process really starts. Low moments let you know that you're not limited to this and you can even step further. So highest low moments are when you're broken, you're apart, and you're fearing. And fear is something that should be really, really tackled intangibly. So you have to be very smart when you deal with fear, because fear has all the ability to trick your mind. And fear is the best thing that can ever happen to anyone. Understand fear, why it's there. It's not there to keep you stuck. It's actually pushing you towards your goal. So just understand why these emotions were created. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never want us to be stuck. He never brought this deen to be stuck. And we have lived years of fear, but that fear drove the ummah towards the positive and did not keep us stuck forever. And that's why fear comes up. It's a very good thing that happens to anyone.
Wonderful. Finn, if I could also just, yes?
All right, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Being a celebrity with almost 1 million followers, of course, I have people who hate me. At first, in the beginning, I cannot handle all those criticism because I am Miss Know-It-All. You say one thing, I would always respond back. You say one bad thing, I would print screen you and I would diss you back because I was trained like that. Kulil haq walau kana murra. Speak the truth, even though it's bitter. But silly me. After a while, and alhamdulillah, Quran toned me down, tamed my heart. I realized that responding to all those haters is just as silly as the haters themselves. Because like she said, everybody is entitled for their opinion, and we should know whether it should affect us or not. And whatever definition of the truth of one might not be your own definition. For example, back when I was living a life, you know, when people come to me and say, Finn, come on, you talk about Allah all the time. You know, why are you not wearing hijab? And I would say, well, at least my heart is pure, unlike yours. You know, we always have our own definition of truth at that moment, at that time. And I was like that, and I think most of us are. We all think we are at the right place. That is why we are defending our hujjah all the time, right? So that is why now that I am more mature, I realize that whenever people wants to hate you or say negative things to you, it is their opinion, and you just tell your heart, you know, at this moment, this is the truth for them. Let them be. One day, if Allah lets the hijab of their heart open for you, then alhamdulillah. It is not rare for me to receive DMs and messages coming from strangers who started as my haters, and then say, Finn, I'm so sorry, all this while I hated you because I think you're such a poor person, pop, 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 pop. You know, you're so talkative, you know. Who likes talkative girls? I am those kind of girls, you know, in school, whenever teacher asks any question, I would raise up my hand. I'll volunteer, you know, at like last 3 minutes in the class, I have a question. Yeah, me. Because I'm that hyper, I'm that problematic girl in the class, okay, even in school. So it is understandable, but that's the thing, that's the beauty of us. Allah told us to meet up, every man, every woman, we have to meet each other so we can lita'arafu, to get to know each other, because my defects could one day be something that would benefit you, and your defect would be one thing that would benefit us. It's the same concept like the networking just now we talked. I was listening.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Thank you so much, Finn. I'm going to have to ask Farah to rail in, but we will come back to you on other questions. Farah, how do you deal with your critics, and maybe you could share how you deal with any of your low moments?
I'm here as not, you know, sitting on this stage as someone who failed so many things in life. So I think it's very important to have a very strong mindset, to think very positive. Don't expect people to talk to you nicely. The way you talk yourself, even your inner voice is very important. So it's really, I implement actually this since 2011. So it really helped. No one can ever crash my soul. So, you know, inshallah, and, you know, be true to yourself and make as much dua, because I always believe that Allah will always protect us, inshallah.
Inshallah. Harasha?
Let me see, how do I put this? I don't have critics. I think, well, I'm sure I do, but they don't matter to me. I think the biggest critic I have is myself. And that is a big challenge for me. And being a woman, oh, wow, we are very good. I mean, I can certainly speak for myself. And many times, I personally find that I hold back because I think I'm not good enough. And that is a very serious problem. I'm being very honest here with you because I've got nothing to prove to anyone. And my journey is all about, and actually that's why I went into business. I went into business really to see how far I can go. Because our business can only grow as far as we can grow. And actually it's a natural state of being. Everybody should go into some kind of entrepreneurship. Don't be afraid of the big numbers or whatever. For goodness sake, if you have something good to offer to the marketplace, be it just kueh that you make from home and somebody buys from you. I have a client, for example, she teaches people how to bake. And her business brings in a cool 20,000 Singapore dollars every month. That's 60,000 ringgit, mind you.
So she bakes?
She bakes, no, she teaches women how to bake. So she's dealing with knowledge. Now, she had a lot of support from her husband, who gave her that space to do so, like you said, within the right context, you see. So she teaches women how to bake. So they come to her home. Guess how much her rent is? $0. Because her husband is the one paying for the house.
Smart woman.
Smart woman, yeah, I know. But anyway, so my point is, I think how I deal with my worst critic, which is myself, is to have a good man in my life who reminds me, stop it. And he used to be my brother. I love him so much because he let me discover my real strengths. And now is my fiancé, and hopefully, inshallah, I get married this year. I'll be 43 soon, so I better be this year. Uh, and he always...
Is he here?
Is he here? No, he's not here. Oh, you would have heard him if he's here, trust me. Because he's my biggest supporter, you know, and he's irrepressible, I call him that. Now, my point is, Allah has brought men into our lives to bring out the best of us. And Allah has brought women into men's lives to bring out the best of the men. And I really think we should go back to that space. And we can be the best of ourselves. I think the world will be a better place already. So my inner critic is the one I got to, got to handle. Now, on the other thing about my low moments, again, there are two things I read somewhere. I'm a junkie for quotes, you know. I love reading quotations because they can crystallize ideas in a very simple way. There's this wonderful man who said, 6 years from now, you are the same person that you will be, except for two things: the books you read and the people you mix around with. Now, books equals knowledge. So I always surround myself with people, even if I don't know them. And I learn a lot from the non-Muslims. I'm very sorry, but we Muslims need to be worshippers of knowledge. Right now, the big breakthroughs are happening in the non-Muslim world because they love knowledge and they keep on pushing themselves further and further and further. We have become excellent consumers. So this is why platforms like these are very important, because we got to go back to that. There is this wonderful man. I'm sorry, I obviously got a lot to share because I'm 40-something, remember? So, you know, the older people got more to share. Just one, there are some wonderful people in the Muslim world that we should really look out for. So, for example, and they're not known because they don't like to market themselves because they think it's a bit un-Islamic to be so showy. Actually, we are doing ourselves a disservice if we don't promote our work, if it can help people. So this gentleman, for example, his name is Dr. Yahya Abdul Rahman. He's based in the US. He was born in Egypt. He became an American. Now he set up La Riba Bank, which is the first, interest-free Islamic banking. Now, Dr. Yahya is a man with immense wisdom. He's in his 70s now, not in very good health. So I really hope we can tap on people like that, get them to download the knowledge that they have, for example. And we have this repository of knowledge because his example, he said one thing, I will never forget this. He said, we Muslims should be producers, not consumers.
Wonderfully said.
That's really powerful, and I think that's what we all need to do, and that's how I overcome my low moments, like the brother said earlier. Figure out something important to change, and it's bigger than yourself, and just kind of move forward on that. I hope I'm not speaking too much. I'm really sorry.
No, thank
sorry,
you,
that's
thank
the
you.
woman part of me, always apologizing. I will apologize less.
No, thank you so much. Such important points. And if I could just add on to that, what an incredible initiative that Huda mentioned earlier. And if anybody missed it, it is the Multaka al-Hikmah. And if you didn't quite understand what it was about, go and find Huda and make sure that you understand and you are signed up before the end of today. My next question, if I could just ask Finn, having changed from, a different look to now, obviously being a niqabi, have you faced any particular prejudices that you could share today? And I'll ask you to maybe share one or two as a women entrepreneur, and how have you dealt with it?
Okay, of course, when I was not wearing hijab, they would ask me, when are you going to wear hijab? Now that I wear hijab, why are you, overdoing it? All those things. Nothing is ever good enough. Everything is either you are such a munafiq or now you are such a sesat person, like heretic or whatever, whatnot. It's really hard. So I just live on my own definition, like I said earlier just now, I believe in slow and steady. That is the key of istiqamah even. Because if you make that transition like that, so it's going to, I do not know how to say that. Sorry, I'm very Malay.
I guess it's transition.
Okay, what's the question again? I forgot.
Have you faced any prejudices
Okay.
and how have you dealt with it?
Okay, so the prejudice and all. So what I do is believing, understanding of the objective. So for example, I want to be a better Muslimah. It's not about the hijab, it's the objective, to be covering my aura. I can always walk with box on my head, it's okay. If I'm still covering my aura, then that's good enough. So whenever people have prejudice on me, and I believe what I'm doing is right, then I'm okay. So because being a celebrity, I understand this beforehand. You can never please everyone, because everyone would be like wolves in front of your door, expecting more and more. Once you feed them one food, and they would stay there asking for more every day in front of your door. So I'm not saying that we have to be this stingy person and not giving anything to them. But then again, just if you cook extra food, you can give to the wolves. If you don't, then they cannot expect anything. Oh, very deep.
Thank you. Thank you, Fain. Sarah, if I could just ask you, and again, leading on from that, I guess about measuring when and how to extend yourself. Do you feel as a female entrepreneur you have a social responsibility to bring women perhaps into your company or into your space to mentor them?
Absolutely. But what I would make a point right now here, do you people see how we are making a fool out of ourselves? And this is entrepreneurship. You will fall and you will have to get up. There will be days you will have no right answers, but it's okay. We have to be okay in what we are doing, and we have to be okay with what we have and what we do not have. We don't have amazing networks, we don't have enough money, we don't have people around us, we don't have mentors. It is okay. As far as you are in line and aligned with your own mind, body, and soul and your creator, things will fall into place. We have the guts to wear our our hearts on our sleeves, because we believe in becoming authentic. And this is why I have the responsibility to bring more women and raise their bar up, because it is very needed. A woman is being, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala placed you into this amazing cycle of being a facilitator to create. A woman is a creator. We have a huge responsibility for our generations to come. If we are broken, we have no clue about life, we hate on our husbands and our in-laws, if we are hating on ourselves, if we are hating people around us, if we are hating on men, we are never going to grow as a society. More women need to step up. More women need to recognize their own responsibility of how the next generation really depends on us. And definitely men are created, they are stepping up more than us, but really there has to be a balance now, because we've fallen off balance. It's our duty to get up now. And you can make fool out of yourself and be awesome. Just be okay.
I guess be comfortable in your skin. Farah, if I could then just extend the same question to yourself, do you feel the responsibility to extend the opportunity for the women to learn under your mentorship?
Yeah, inshallah, because alhamdulillah, less than 2 years into TAQWA, how I started my Into Equity in London. With Into TAQWA, less than 2 years, I merged in few countries like Indonesia, Jakarta, in UAE. So, you know, it's just that you need to be smart, and no matter what we do, you have to ask yourself every time before you sleep at night, what is actually that? Be true to yourself. You are here, not, you know, in the end, whatever thing that we do will be questioned by Allah. Not everyone could just, you know, we are not here, as I said, that being Farah before, all I know that I just work and just target of this dunya thing. Let's, all of us here, my beloved Muslim brothers and sisters, that use our expertise, our intelligence, and whatever thing that we have now to be a better Muslim. Inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you so much. Time goes so quickly when you're having fun, so we've actually come to the end, but I'm going to ask each and every one of you to just give a short advice to the women entrepreneurs that we have here in the room who are thinking of entrepreneurship or are struggling and they're only just starting up. Just very quickly, if I could start off with Harasha.
Let's get ourselves out of the way and focus on providing something of value that can help other people. I think that's a very important grounding statement. And don't forget to be a woman. What I mean by that is, and this is really important, see, a woman's responsibility is to be a good daughter, a good wife, a good mother. We cannot forget that. I have seen some women who go way off, and no, we need that balance, that beautiful balance between being a real woman who is, who else? Our most wonderful example is Sayyidina Khadija, right? I mean, we want to be like that, so let's do that,
Thank you. Farah?
3 things. Number 1, be positive. Number 2, I always believe that we must have adab as a Muslim doing a business. Number 3, never ever scared to try a new venture, inshallah.
Wonderful. Finn?
Jam.
Advice?
Okay. I only have this one thing. Okay, when it comes to Sekejap, Jam lah. Sekejap, lupa. How do you first lah?
Sorry, maybe you can go while she collects her thoughts.
Okay, for me, it's like show up every day, every single day. Being an entrepreneur, being a wife, being a daughter, being a woman, being at service to yourself and to your creator. Show up every single day. You will not have your answers. It's okay.
Wonderful. Finn, have you remembered?
Yeah, I remembered
Okay.
it already. Sorry. So, because we are doing this Islamic program, right? I just want you guys to remember that Islam is a lifestyle. It's not specifically only on fashion, not specifically only for food, not specifically only on one field like that. It's an overall thing. So even though you're doing one thing, another, it would basically go back to Allah. So just have fun, and please remember that being a proper Muslim doesn't mean that you have to be like all rigid and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah all the time. You can just be yourself. This is just a lifestyle that we have to adapt. We love Allah. Rasulullah was a fun person as well. Just remember that Rasulullah was not a really rigid and timid person. Please don't think like that. Okay? Okay, bye.
Thank you so much. I guess the biggest takeaway is have fun, go out there and be fearfully successful. Can we just have a round of applause for our fantastic power women today?
مدينة مشهد الرضا عليه السلام عاصمة الثقافة الإسلامية لعام 2017 للميلاد.